The hidden wealth of boring businesses. What if everything you have been taught about becoming rich is wrong? What if wealth was never hiding inside glamorous startups, luxury lifestyles, or revolutionary ideas? What if the real secret was hiding in places so ordinary that most people completely ignore them? Right now, somewhere in the world, a man is sleeping peacefully, no notifications, no urgent meetings, no investors demanding updates, no social media followers celebrating his success. Yet every single minute, money quietly flows into his bank account. Not because he became famous, not because he invented something extraordinary, but because years ago, he made a decision that most people would have considered boring. He bought a laundromat, a few vending machines, a small parking lot, and a storage facility. Businesses that nobody dreams about, businesses that nobody brags about, businesses that almost nobody notices. And strangely enough, those boring businesses gave him something that millions of people spend their entire lives chasing: freedom. Years earlier, he was different. He was ambitious, driven, hungry for success. Every night, he watched videos of entrepreneurs showing luxury cars, private jets, and beautiful offices. Everywhere he looked, the message was the same. Success had to be exciting. Success had to be glamorous. Success had to look impressive. So he spent years searching for the perfect opportunity, the next big trend, the revolutionary idea, the business that would change his life overnight. But months became years. Ideas came and went. Projects started and failed. Dreams grew larger, while progress remained small. And slowly, frustration began to replace excitement. He started asking himself difficult questions. Maybe I am not smart enough. Maybe I started too late. Maybe success is only for other people. Little by little, the fire inside him began to fade. Then one evening, everything changed. He visited an old friend. The friend looked ordinary. No designer clothes, no expensive watch, no luxury lifestyle. But there was something unusual about him. He looked peaceful, calm, completely free from financial stress. Curious, he finally asked, "What exactly do you do?" The friend smiled. "I own 3 laundromats." Silence. The young man almost laughed. Surely there had to be more. But then the friend continued, "I also own several vending machines, 2 storage facilities, and a parking lot." Again, silence. No exciting startup, no revolutionary technology, no million-dollar social media brand, just ordinary businesses. And in that moment, everything changed. Because for the first time in his life, he realized something incredibly powerful. Money does not care about excitement. Money cares about value. The world celebrates flashy success, but real wealth often grows quietly, like roots beneath the ground, invisible, silent, patient, because people may stop buying luxury products. They may postpone expensive vacations. They may cut unnecessary spending, but they will never stop needing clean clothes. They will never stop needing water, parking, storage, cleaning, waste removal. These problems never disappear. And where problems never disappear, opportunities never disappear. For the first time, he began looking at the world differently. Every construction site needed equipment. Every office needed cleaning. Every city produced garbage. Every family eventually ran out of storage space. Every person needed basic services. Suddenly, money seemed to be everywhere, flowing quietly through ordinary places. Most people simply never noticed it because human beings are naturally attracted to excitement. We chase what looks impressive. We admire what seems extraordinary. But boring businesses possess a hidden superpower. They survive because human needs rarely change. Thousands of years ago, people needed water. They still need it today. People needed clean clothes decades ago. They still need them now. People created waste in the past. They will continue creating waste in the future. Human behavior changes slowly, and businesses built around permanent human needs often become incredibly valuable. He started studying these industries. Waste management, an industry almost nobody talks about. Yet every single day, billions of people create garbage. Economic crisis, people still create waste. Economic boom, people still create waste. The problem never disappears. Then he discovered equipment rentals. Why buy an expensive machine for one project when you can simply rent it? One machine, hundreds of customers. Buy once, earn repeatedly, again and again and again. Then he discovered something even more powerful: recurring income, businesses that continue generating money every month. Memberships, software subscriptions, storage units, rental income, predictable cash flow, predictable income, predictable peace. Because wealthy people understand something many never learn. Predictability creates freedom. Freedom creates peace, and peace may be one of the greatest luxuries in the world. He studied vending machines, small profits, repeated thousands of times, ATM machines, tiny fees, repeated endlessly, parking lots, simple pieces of land with painted lines. Yet fortunes had been built from them, because wealth rarely comes from one massive moment. It usually comes from repetition. Think about a river. A river can cut through mountains, not because it is incredibly powerful, but because it never stops flowing. Money works exactly the same way. Small profits, repeated consistently, eventually become extraordinary fortunes. Years passed. He slowly bought his first boring business, then another, then another. Nothing looked impressive. Nobody congratulated him. Nobody called him a genius. People thought his life was ordinary. But quietly, everything was changing. A customer paid for storage. Another used his vending machine. Another paid for parking. Another rented equipment. Money continued moving, even while he slept, even while he traveled, even while he spent time with family. His systems kept working, and slowly, his entire life transformed. Years later, people finally noticed. How did you become successful? What is your secret? When did all of this happen? They thought it happened overnight, but they never saw the years of patience, the years of learning, the sacrifices, the boring decisions. Because every great transformation happens quietly, long before the world notices. The world sees results, but it rarely sees the process. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. The opportunities that change our lives are not always exciting. Sometimes they are hidden inside ordinary things: a laundromat, a vending machine, a storage facility, a parking lot, a billboard, an ATM, things people walk past every single day without realizing someone is quietly building freedom from them. Because success is not about finding what looks impressive, it is about finding problems that never disappear. Problems people will still pay to solve 10 years from now, 20 years from now, maybe even 50 years from now, and then building systems around those problems again and again and again until one day those systems begin working for you, even while you sleep. So the next time you drive past a storage facility or see a vending machine standing in a corner, pause for a moment, because while most people see something ordinary, an investor sees cash flow, an entrepreneur sees opportunity, and somewhere, at this very moment, someone is sleeping peacefully while one of these boring businesses quietly makes them richer, because sometimes the road to extraordinary wealth looks incredibly ordinary. And that is the real secret. Remember this: the greatest fortunes are rarely built on complexity. They are built on solving simple human problems again and again and again. The world will continue chasing excitement, but perhaps the people who become truly free will be the ones willing to embrace what others ignore. Because in the end, freedom is not about working harder forever. It is about building systems that work for you. And sometimes, the most ordinary opportunities create the most extraordinary lives.